We're back. Before we get way too far into things, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. That was my first video, and I think it's at over 4,000 views now. We're almost at 100 subscribers. So many nice comments. So hit that freaking like button and hit the freaking subscribe button. But today we're talking about the major and specifically the challenger stage. Now that it's over, we're seeing how everyone's playing. Let's take a look. Let's take a not so deep dive, but let's take like a short swim, if you will. Ensign G2 came in 3-0. That's awesome. G2's looking amazing. Monacy, like the highest rated player in the challenger stage, I think. JKS number 2. Then you have Hunter at number 6. I mean, they're just gaming right now. It's really good that Nico found a cousin that can just carry him when he's not feeling like carrying. Ensis looks awesome. With Nerds coming in less than 3 months ago, they could win this if they get the right draws. FaZe is looking a little shaky, admittedly, but they still made it through. They only lost against Ents.
Time is running out for it. He's just ice cold. Picks up the first one and now ready for it. Carrigan up and he gets it. An unbelievable.
Apex with a 16-0 against Greyhound, and they qualify 3-1.
And Apex have found themselves 2-0. Aussie. Ow, ow, ow.
Bruh. Apex is looking good. I think they could easily make playoffs. NIP made it through 3-1 as well. I don't think they're going to make playoffs, but I want to see NIP play to a high standard and not just get owned 0-3. If they can win one solid game against an opponent that isn't into the breach, I'll be happy. Monty qualified. They just barely beat Pain. Well, I wouldn't say barely, but things were looking shaky on Anubis, and then they came out swinging on Nuke. And I think that Nuke game really rattled a lot of the guys on Pain, and they just couldn't really bring it to Mirage. Gamer Legion qualified. I didn't watch a whole lot of their games. I did catch the end of the Fours match. I needed Fours to qualify, and the first round I saw was Isaac's 1v3. That pretty much won them the game.
He's going to farm up another 2. His teammates move in to take the line. The AWP is set up over at Ruins. He dies immediately on the swing. Isaac, what a time to find his footing. He is on for the ace. 1 kill away from it. And it's Shalfie, the man to beat, moving up through Banana. Isaac knows.
It was an ace too. So, the other team I needed was Pain, and they both lost. I thought Forza was going to make it, man. Zorsay was playing so good, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. Greyhound tried. Upset against Fours. They were able to take out the Mongols. That was a pretty even match, but I would have bet on Mongols. Pain easily could have made it. Maybe some more experience. I don't know if that roster is it. I think that roster could find some success, but I think they're close to their peak. Speaking of being close to their peak, Complexity. I don't think this roster is going to do it, but I don't know who you get and still keep it a majority NA, which is kind of sad because we only have 2 teams right now that actually can compete at a global level, and just barely. Mouse looked horrible. JDC, Torzy, and Dexter couldn't get it up. They need some little blue pills, and by blue pills, I mean Adderall, so they can actually hit some shots. And then Fluxo, BSM played really well. They almost knocked out Liquid 0-3. You know, I'm an NA fanboy. I don't want to see Liquid go out 0-3, but it would be kind of a wake-up call. It already should be kind of a wake-up call. The teams that they lost to and the teams they had to beat to actually make it. First of all, Liquid's number 7. Let's see. Fours they lost to number 16. They lost to Apex, number 24. They had to beat Greyhound, number 28. They had to beat Fluxo, number 38. And then they had to beat their North American brethren in Complexity. This wasn't a good showing from Liquid. Dare I say they didn't deserve to make it, but they did because they won. You can only beat the opponents in front of you. But what is Liquid's problem? You have a Liege, veteran, kind of the embodiment of Liquid. He's been there forever. He's been looking a little wishy-washy. I don't think it's time to say you're out. Naf, also just a legacy Liquid player, and he's been there for a while. OC gets a lot of criticism, but I think in a different team that focused on a system revolving around the Oppert, he would play really well, but that's just not how Liquid plays. Then you've got Yakindar. I don't think Yakindar leaves unless he wants to. I don't think Liquid would get rid of him. He brings kind of a new mindset to the game, playing with Jame, coming from Europe, and he's a great fragger. And then it comes down to Nitro. Well, Nitro's the in-game leader, and in-game leaders aren't always supposed to frag. Kerrigan doesn't always frag, but Yakindar is now in-game leading on multiple maps, apparently. And it seems that Nitro missed a big chunk of Liquid's boot camp. I'm currently editing the video. Apparently Nitro missed the boot camp because his wife went into labor and he wanted to see his child for the first time. Like, that's any excuse to not be at your boot camp? So if Yakindar is in-game leading, then I think Nitro just just isn't necessary. The energy doesn't seem to be there. These guys look sad when they're playing. Nitro or Akindar, I think they're both in-game leading on different maps. I don't know. Neither of them seem to be super energetic and loud like an Apex or Acadian. Daps behind them looks bored, looks asleep. It would be nice to see someone hyping them up, especially because Naf is really quiet. Elige doesn't seem to keep that calm mental. He seems to tilt a lot. But OC has been super vocal recently, and I love to see that. So if Liquid gets smacked in the Legends stage, I think it's time to make a change. I don't have any actual answers, but I'm just going to point out problems because I want to. You know, there used to be a time in North America when we had like 10 different orgs and 3 or 4 teams that could compete at a global level, and I don't really know what happened. It was Valorant. Any CSGO player in North America that was grinding the competitive scene is now over in Valorant because there's more orgs, there's more money, it's a new thing. And even if you enjoy playing Counter-Strike 10% more than you do playing Valorant, if you can make a salary in Valorant, I would take that sacrifice, but I don't have that option because I'm bad. So I'm excited for the rest of the major. I am going to announce a prediction giveaway once we get to playoffs, so make sure that you subscribe and hit that friggin' notification bell so that you know when I announce it. Stay hydrated.